Let's begin, as always, with our hot topics presented by Lexus, the official electric vehicle of the New York Knicks. Cleveland quarterback Baker Mayfield.
What are you doing?
What is he saying as you read along here? He's here, Odell Beckham, to work, and he wants to be surrounded by people who love and support him and allow him to be himself. He's here to play in front of fans who actually care, who will actually show up to every game and pack the stadium and love him for who he is. Baker Mayfield clearly doesn't know anything about the Giants football fan.
Well, no.
That is one of the most absurd statements I've ever heard in my life.
What he knows is he knows Odell, and they're very close. And he's talked enough to Odell to hear what upset him about New York. And what he did there.
It wasn't lack of passion, though.
No, I know that. But once again, what he's saying is basically what Odell not said to him, but projected to him about what went wrong in New York.
Yeah.
Fans got on him. I just wanted to be me, and they wanted me to be something else, right? A lot of that stuff. But on top of it, fans who will pack the building. I mean, these are season tickets that get passed on from generation to generation to generation.
Absolutely.
Fans who care. The Giant fan base in New York, I mean, is right up there with the Yankees as far as most passionate and largest of all the teams we have in this city. So and then you have Cleveland. I mean, you're in Cleveland, dude.
Right?
Well, they're passionate,
Right
but
there.
they're passionate in Cleveland.
Passionate in Cleveland, but they don't pack the building because they haven't been good in a long time. But Baker's not doing this to throw shade at Giants fans, even though Giants fans are feeling this.
Right.
This is more about Odell.
I don't even think I don't think it's to throw shade at Giants fans. I think he shouldn't have said it the way he said it because it didn't come out the best way. But Baker Mayfield's a leader. We have seen this and time again this past season. He's had a lot of success early on. We were talking about that earlier. From a leader standpoint, he's looking out for his teammates at this point. He sees every time he probably steps up to the podium, he gets asked a question about Odell Beckham. Is Odell Beckham ready? Will he fit into this system? And he's probably like, you know what? This is my guy. He's going to be great. And I think that that's the approach that he wanted to take. It might have been his words maybe were a little misconstrued and could be offensive to Giants fans, but I admire his leadership from being a quarterback standpoint and just looking out for his teammates.
Yeah, it's just the execution of it. I mean,
exactly.
You get that he wants to take any kind of pressure or...
It's poor word choice.
And that's what I go back to the execution. But to say that, the Cleveland Browns fan base is passionate, listen, every NFL team's fan base is passionate.
That's true.
Like everyone.
Yeah, there's not a single fan base that
to
isn't.
throw shade at another franchise's fan base.
Makes no sense.
Makes no sense at all.
He's sticking up for his guy. That's why, because he's sticking up for his guy. Because you didn't love him in New York because of the fact that he was kicking nets and proposing to kicking nets and dancing in the end zone and happy because he did well individually and the team didn't. And when the team won and he didn't have his numbers, he pouted. And the Giants fans didn't like that about him. He wasn't really representing what the Giants were about.
Fans were not detached. They were involved. Maybe not with the way that Odell Beckham wanted them to be involved.
That's not what he's trying to say here. What he's trying to say is they didn't just let Odell be Odell. And it's because the Giants fans wanted to win, and he wasn't winning. And when you're the star and your team doesn't win, we see that everywhere in every team here in New York. If you're the star and your team doesn't win, you are the one that has to carry the weight.
John, but anybody
wanted to do
played here.
I think everyone loved Odell.
Yeah.
And then the whole playoff thing happened when he went down to Miami with the boat. And that changed everything.
That was a mistake.
It's like, it's playoff time. You're supposed to be getting ready for the biggest game of your life. And you go down and take that trip and take people with you. I think that's when some people kind of left the Odell train. Like, he wasn't buying in and fully buying into being a professional the way you're supposed to be playing. So I think that's where the downturn started for him with the fans.
How do you interpret that situation, though? If you were in a similar spot where you had a guy coming over that, people were asking you about all the time, how would you approach maybe some of the questions that Baker's been getting about Odell?
Well, first of all, I would just talk about our team and what we're trying to do this season. I wouldn't buy into all that. I wouldn't get involved in all that because we're looking at bigger and better things. The past is the past. Leave it. There's no need to spark any past feelings or anything like that. Any ill feelings toward a team makes it seem like you're jealous or something. Just leave it alone. Focus on your team and what you have to do, and that's the task at hand. Whether the fans, the Giants, that has nothing to do with what Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham have to do for the Cleveland Browns this season.
You're in a new situation. Move on from that. Look forward and get all of your mind, your energies towards what you have to do for that season. It's in the past. Leave it there.
That's right.
A week from today, Giants training camp opens, and we will be there. Giants training camp live premieres Thursday, 4:30 p.m. We'll be live from practice. It airs every Monday through Thursday at 6:30 p.m. throughout training camp. Giants post-game live immediately following Giants games throughout the season, and the man will be hosting those shows is Bob Papa, the voice of the Giants. And he joins us right now. Bob, are you excited for the start, or are you saying slow down, one more week?
Well, it means that summer's coming to an end pretty quickly. But, yeah, there is a lot of excitement. So many changes with this Giants team. And I think Dave Gettleman and Pat Shurmur finally have a roster that they're looking for as far as their team chemistry is concerned. They made changes to the offensive line, but now they got to do it on the field. And we're looking forward throughout the course of the year of bringing great programming to MSG with the New York Giants each and every week, starting next Thursday with Giants Training Camp Live.
And as you guys always do, and obviously the biggest story is going to be, or the main storyline is going to be the quarterback position. We had Phil Simms on earlier this week discussing what he sees at the quarterback position with Eli Manning and the rookie Daniel Jones.
I really believe that Eli Manning, his position, his knowledge, they've put a really good team around him on the offensive side. I think he has a chance to have maybe one of his best years of his career. Pat Shurmur did a pretty good job with Case Keenum up in Minnesota, and I think the talent that Eli has around him with New York is better than what Case Keenum had in Minnesota. So I really think it's set up for Eli to have a good year, and if the chance comes up that maybe it's not going well, they lose games, things like that, then Daniel Jones, if they think they can give him a shot somewhere during the year, they'll take it, but only if the Giants, I think, are out of the race.
Bob, Phil feels like the Giants' future's so bright he's got to wear those shades. But what are you seeing in that discussion? There's been so much debate about what the Giants should do at quarterback, whether Eli's the guy to stick with, or if things go wrong, get right to the rookie. What are you expecting?
Well, I think Eli Manning is going to have a really good year this year because, first and foremost, they've addressed the offensive line issues. Year number 2 for Saquon Barkley, and obviously with the trade of Odell Beckham Jr., you're losing a star wide receiver. But let's not sleep on Golden Tate. Although he's a different kind of receiver, he's a very good receiver. Plus, you've got Sterling Shepard, and Evan Ingram, to me, is really the X factor. When he was healthy in the second half of the season, especially down the stretch, when Odell was out, the Giants averaged 28 points a game. I think offensively, they could be pretty explosive. But the question is, Eli might be playing really well, and they might be scoring points. But if they don't stop anybody and they get knocked out of the race, that's when the decision is going to be difficult to figure out when you put the rookie quarterback in and start grooming him.
Bob, we saw Eli just basically run for his life last season with that offensive line.
Last couple of years.
Yeah, last couple of years, definitely. With this offensive line, the Giants have made it a point to make enhancements to it so that Eli is more effective. And even with him running for his life going back to last year, he still threw for a career high in completion percentage at 66%. So with that enhanced offensive line, and you have to see it on the field, as you mentioned, you're hopeful that he can have a stronger season at quarterback, right?
Yeah, I definitely do. And you know, we sit in the studio or in the film room and we watch a lot of the throws, and he can still zip the ball in there, and he still makes all the throws that you have to make to be successful in the NFL. Obviously, the win-loss record hasn't been what the team and the franchise had hoped for, or the fan base, and he knows that that falls on him, and he knows that he's got to go out and elevate his game even higher. But I think for the first time in a long time, it looks like this team has a chance to be pretty good offensively. And again, when your quarterback can trust the people in front of him, and it looks like they could be really strong at the guard and center positions where he's not getting that pressure on the interior of the pocket, I think this team can really score a lot of points and move the ball this year. And they're going to have to help protect their defense.
I completely agree with you on the offense. You know, you really feel like there'll be stability on the line that they haven't had in many years. And then you have Saquon Barkley, obviously, and Tate was a nice pickup as well. But, of course, as you mentioned, the defense will be part of this question. But somehow that will impact the offense. And it leads me to something I've been asking just about everybody. And obviously, you're a perfect person to ask as well. You did allude to it, so let's go back to it. What happens if the defense hasn't been good enough? Even though the offense is cruising, Eli looks good, but the record's not where it wants to be. You get to December, do you stick with Eli and just let the offense stay together, or do you give Daniel Jones those snaps at the end of the season?
Well, I mean, their plan is to stay in this thing, but once they're mathematically eliminated, you have to think that no matter how great Eli's playing, Daniel Jones is going to get an opportunity to play. You drafted him with the 6th overall pick in the draft. Now, some of it depends on how Daniel Jones progresses during the course of the season as far as his understanding of everything that's going on and how he's performing in practice when he gets his opportunities. But I think until this team is mathematically eliminated, if they are mathematically eliminated, if Eli's playing well and the offense is scoring points, he's going to stay out there. And I know his motivation is to make the Giants have to make a decision in the offseason as opposed to making a decision during the season.
Chris Ash is the head football coach at Rutgers. He joins us on the phone from Chicago. It's Big Ten Media Day. How are the cliches going today, Coach?
Well, thankfully, really well. I haven't had a chance to do too many interviews yet. You guys are actually the first one, so I'm excited and ready to go with you guys.
All right, Coach, so it's the 150th anniversary of the first ever college football game that was played between Rutgers and Princeton. Rutgers won that game. So just going into this season, do you have like a little extra, I don't know, swag?
Well, yeah. You know what? We're very excited about the 150th anniversary and our place in history with college football. This is a great game, and it's done so much for so many people. We want to hopefully be able to go out and honor our history and Rutgers' place in college football this year with a great year, and really excited about it.
Coach, this is going to be your fourth year as a head coach at Rutgers. How would you assess where things are right now with the program?
Well, I can tell you right now today that we are as strong as we've been since I've been here. Our leadership, our culture, our work ethic, just our standards overall, and the way the players buy into what we're doing. We are as strong as we've been. And I know this is a results-based business, and last year wasn't a lot of fun. You would go 1-11. It's tough, but we learned from it. We've improved from it, and I'm just excited to get our football team back on the field and show that improvement right now.
You talk about buying in. You're known for doing some unique things with your summer practices, whether it be a concert or an ice cream truck. What do you have in store for this summer, and why do you adopt these philosophies?
Well, college football is a year-round job right now for these players. I mean, there's not a lot of breaks. It's a lot of hard work, and I truly believe if you can't find an opportunity to have a little bit of fun with these guys, they could get burned out and maybe not be ready to go when the season gets here. So we're going to try to find a way to reward our guys for a lot of hard work and a lot of time invested into our program, and that's why we try to do some of those things. Don't really have anything up our sleeve, so to speak, here yet. But we'll see how it goes once we get into training camp. I'm just excited to get our guys out there and get to work.
Coach, transfers are going to potentially play a big part on the roster this year, and specifically in terms of the quarterback battle. Take us through how that may work out for you guys.
Well, there's a lot still to be decided from a quarterback standpoint. That's one position that we know we have to get better at. Art Zukowski started as a true freshman last year, and it didn't go as we had hoped, and it just is what it is when you play a true freshman at this level. But he is a lot better because of what he went through last year. He got some great experience, and he's improved a lot throughout the spring. We've got a couple guys, Johnny Langan, who is a transfer from Boston College. We're still waiting to see if he will be eligible. We took McLean Carter from Texas Tech that we're really excited about, and we can't wait to see what he does once we get the pads on and get out on the field. But we've got a lot of work to do to decide who's going to be our starting quarterback, but I do like the guys that we have in the room and in that competition, and got trust and faith in whoever ends up winning the job leading our team.
You have high hopes for your running game this year. You got a little bit of a 1-2 punch in Isaiah Pacheco and Raheem Blackshear. Lots to look forward to.
Yeah, those two guys are really good players. They had good years last year. We're hoping that they can build on that and increase that productivity, both in the run game, but also help us in the pass game as well. But those guys are two of our best players. I think we got a couple other young running backs in the program that can give us, a few other options back there. But those guys will carry our offense without a doubt.
Coach, what are some of the challenges of trying to build a program in the Big Ten?
Well, in this league, there's a lot of history, tradition, the venues, the fan bases. When you're new to the league and you don't have a lot of those other things, you just got to find ways to do more with less. And that's really what we're doing right now. We understand that, we know that, and we embrace it, and we're not worried about it. We could sit around and make comparisons and excuses all day long, but hey, here's what we've got, here's who we are, and we're going to go work and make it the best we can make it.
Coach, 2 years ago, some close wins over Maryland and Purdue. Then last season, some late losses to Northwestern and Michigan State. So how in this next year can your team find ways to finish off those close games?
Well, I look back at last year, and again, you look at the record 1-11, and you just think everything was bad. It wasn't. Early in the season, we didn't play very good. We played a lot better football late, and we've got to build on that. The biggest thing that we have to do, number one, is just stop beating ourselves. And when I say that, I'm talking about taking care of the football first and foremost. When you turn the ball over like we did last year, we have no chance to win games. And first half of the season, we had a lot of turnovers. Second half, we didn't, and we were a lot more competitive, and we were close to getting some victories. So we've got to figure out how to get that done and stop beating ourselves with mental errors, poor ball security, fundamentals, things like that. Once we do that, then we're going to have a chance to win games.
Yes, I did. I just put it. There was no mirror.
Are you okay?
I got you, girl. That's a ball. Keep possession.
That's right.
That's the key.
That just doesn't suit you, by the way.
It doesn't. It's not
You're big time.
He scolded you. Don't let Bill scold.
Her tactics while you were
She
shooting.
won, but I would love a title.
You better represent.
How about that? How about that?
That's impressive.
Come on, Jake.
Congratulations.
Jules Vianney won the MSG 150 Horse Championship over John Wallace, who hasn't been the same since. And we bring in Jules. Thanks for joining us on vacation in West Palm Beach, Florida. And you go on vacation and you get sick. Now, how does that happen?
You know what? I guess it's just wind down time, and it all hits me at once. It's the worst timing ever. I'm starting to lose. I lost my voice like a couple days ago, so luckily I wasn't in this week in the studio. You guys would have killed me. I would have not been able to speak. Although looking at the footage, it looks like all they do is laugh.
Better than the alternative, I guess.
Right.
I was like, all my highlights were like,
Well, Jules, we could start our own show. You and I just laughing all day.
I know. I was thinking that. I was like, me and John Wallace just sit there and laugh.
I thought it was all you're celebrating after you beat John in the MSG 150 horse title. You just haven't gotten it back.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten a lot of flack. A lot of my friends have reached out to me over the days. We definitely got to get a rematch at some point. And the fact that Bill keeps bringing it up, at some point Bill and I are gonna play one-on-one. And I'm just saying I'm gonna dunk on him. I don't care. He went to Cornell.
Why didn't you dunk in the horse competition?
Because it's a lady.
I wanted to ask, I didn't get to see it, so what was the shot that she beat you on in the end?
Some short mid-range shot, like 8-foot shots.
Very efficient, very effective mid-range game.
We call Jules a paper cut.
Yeah.
She's got good touch.
The paper cut.
Yeah.
Why the paper cut?
You know
Because
what?
it's just nick. 8-footer, 8-footer.
Well, we got a rematch because Wally and Alan were not a part of that either, and they were not too happy. Wally gave me hell for that. He was like, I didn't get an invite for this. We got to do it again. He's like, I know how to get you. I'll get you in some of these tougher shots. So we'll do it again.
So, Jules, we're talking about our BMW road trip. What is your favorite vacation spot? Is it Florida?
Well, you know what? Palm Beach Shores, like right here where I am, is a family spot. Like we've been coming here since I was in like 6th or 7th grade. So I think it has like a special place in my heart for that reason. My parents, when we were kids, got one of those like Marriott timeshare things, and we got to kind of trade points over the years to go to different places. So this is like my favorite spot in terms of we're just comfortable here. It's like second home. But I would have to say when I was younger, we went to Hawaii because we traded like Marriott stuff to get to Hawaii. And that was probably my favorite vacation spot like ever. But I was too young to, I think, appreciate it. So like as much as I would now if I was in Hawaii. But yeah, I mean, there's so many great places. I'm sure you guys have better spots than that. But this is one that's close to my heart.
There's nothing like those rewards points, by the way, all the travel you do.
Yeah.
And then you know it's time to cash them in. Platinum status is the best that you can have after all that travel.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you guys like to go?
My favorite place ever, I went to Italy 2 years ago.
Nice.
We went to Positano, and that was like another world. Absolutely beautiful. And other than that, I mean, I grew up in Florida, so I'm very familiar with the Florida beaches as well. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. I mean, for me, it would be Chicago. And that sounds weird because I'm from Chicago, but we didn't do as many vacations kind of outside of the country.
Staycation?
Staycation, right. But I will say this, though. The time that
You didn't like Chicago.
Listen, and I'll rebound with this, John. New York has taken my heart. Like, I love it.
Because you had
like,
a cannoli.
The summers in New York are beautiful. Right? Yeah, I did have cannoli. That's a big reason why. But I mean, the best spot, it has to be a lot of different things that we do in Chicago.
Like
for
the
the
great
summers.
Steve Harvey said, if you're going to go on vacation, you're going to at least need a passport. Come on, Cam.
I mean, I've been outside of the country. I've been in Jamaica, the Dominican
that's my
Republic.
spot, Jamaica. That's my
It's beautiful
favorite.
there, yeah.
Oh my man, that's my favorite spot to vacay. I love it there. The atmosphere, the ambiance there, the food there, just it's awesome time. I love Jamaica, and your money's long there.
That's
like,
true.
Yeah, that's big to me. My money is really long in Jamaica. I like that.
I like that. Yeah, I love the Caribbean as well. I've been to several different islands down there, but I have to say though that because now after having kids and as many as I have, Disney's become the place.
Disney.
Figure out Disney. If you figure it out, you can
VIP pass. You gotta go. Yeah.
I tell you, one of the great
You
perks.
skip the lines.
Hey, no, that's a clutch perk. Working for
it
ESPN,
is.
you get the free passes, right?
You get the bands, you
Right.
get Fast Pass, and but it's not just those parks. It's also the whole experience of it. It's not as stressful when you understand it, and so it's a fun spot.
Well, when my son gets a little older, I'm going to hit you up, Alex, so I can get those passes.
I
So-
got
Those are
Are
valuable.
you like a
Yes,
Disney
they are.
theme park, like Animal Kingdom, Adventure, like, or are you more like Epcot, where you can have a little bit of an educational experience as
Yes,
well?
all
Yeah.
of it.
All of it. All of the above.
It's to a point too when the kids get older, you send them to the water parks, Blizzard
water
Beach.
park.
You guys go do that. We're going to go downtown Disney, which is now obviously named something
Downtown
else.
Disney's great, actually. Yeah, it's a good little
you just have
spot.
a great time, but staying in the resort there too. You don't have to drive, which means you can have a few sodas and nobody has anything to say about
And
it. You have a good time.
Epcot does you can go around the world and experience like either the food or the beverages
Or
from
both,
each or both.
which
Yeah.
I like to do that.
Yeah.
And you can have it from eight or nine different countries, and I don't need a passport.
Yeah.
For more great videos from the MSG 150, check out right there. And remember, our show is on Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10:30 p.m. on MSG Network and MSG Go.